I believe I need carpet cleaning, but I need it like every 3 months or even more. Like, it'd be awesome if someone comes spot check me once a month and just clean all the weird stuff when my kid puked or sneezed or whatever, right? So that's cool. And then you come back and it's like the internal, like, okay, so this carpet cleaner, do I need to make carpets clean? Do I need them doing this like every single month? I told that story. Now it's like, but it's expensive. I can't afford carpet cleaning. Like, it's expensive, right? That's their internal fear. I can't afford it. You can't afford carpet cleaning? All right, well, how many times did you go to the hospital last year for your kids? How much did you spend in vitamins and supplements? How many sick days did you have from the office last week? Okay, or last year? You had 3 sick days. What do you get paid an hour? Do you realize you lost like $400 just from sick days? Because this stuff, like, if you're sick, it's because of your carpet. Do you guys understand this? It's not because of the pollen, or the thing in the air. Like, everyone's afraid that someone's going to sneeze and it's going to float in the air. Okay, that's disgusting, right? But what's more disgusting is someone sneezed, and then more people, like 500 people sneezed at the mall. It all eventually settles to the ground, and you're stepping on it, and you're not just bringing your crap, like, you're bringing like 30, 40 people sneezes on your shoes, and then you step on your carpet, and that's seriously, like, that's, like, I don't know how you cannot afford this. Like, you get your sick days back, your kids are in school, they're happy, they're healthy, you're able to have more energy. Like, I don't know about you, but like, what's more energy? Like, if you had more energy, would you feel better? Would you have, like, yes, you would, right? Okay, let's talk about all the internals. You guys are all laughing at me back here. Anyway, I'm gonna start a carpet cleaning industry company now, all right? So there's the internal. It's like, crap, I have to buy this stuff. Like, if I don't pay this guy, like, my entire family is gonna die probably. Okay, so you tell the story there. Then number 3, we transition to the external. So for them, what's the external things? Like, what else could possibly be keeping them from doing this, right? Well, I don't even know. I'd have to think about this for a little bit more. So the external potentially could be, internals that they don't think they can afford it. External could be that their mom and other people are going to judge them. If you read the Expert Secrets book, it's all about status, right? It's like, I have carpet cleaner come to my house once a quarter. My mom's going to think that I'm wasting my money or whatever, right? It's coming back like, dude, it's not going to waste your mom's, like, your mom's not going to judge you. In fact, she's going to be like jealous that you're not doing it. So this is the cool thing. We actually have a referral program. You sign up 3 of your friends, this becomes free for you. Do you realize that? So not only like can you help them not die, like we can actually, I don't know. You help get 3 of these people, your carpets become free. Do you want your carpets done for free? 3 people. Who are 3 people you actually love and you care about? Okay, your mom, your sister, your brother, your dentist, your pastor, like whatever. Cool. Let's call them on the phone. I'm going to help clean their carpets too. Save their lives. You will like literally save them from certain death and then whatever, right? And now it's like, oh, cool, they're not going to judge me. They're going to be grateful for this. Now it's like boom, 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 domino falls. They have to give you money. Okay? So, and then you come back, and after the dominoes fall, then you have to make an offer. Okay? This is where we all get scared. And it's so funny, and I'll talk about this as I kind of break down my thing. We'll get somebody to believe something, and then we have to ask them for money. And this is where people like, dude, they all freak out, right? How many of you guys feel that sometimes? Like, I don't want to ask for money. It's interesting, like, I went to a MLM home party. My wife gets invited to them all the time, and I love going to them because it's just fun. So I show up, I ask Colette, I'm like, can I go with you? She's like, don't you want to watch the kids? I'm like, no, I really want to watch this. Like, this is like, for me, like the best thing in the world. So I go to this meeting, there's like, 12 women in a room, and me in the back, like with my notepad taking notes as they're going through it. And the ladies up front doing the pitch, and it's an oil company, so they're trying all these essential oils, and they're smelling it, and they're drinking it, and they're rubbing behind their ears, and their fingers, and their feet, and all the stuff that essential oil people do, right? And it's really, really cool, and it's fun, and like the lady up front is just like on fire. She was super, super good, and as it gets down to the end of the hour, I see her as she starts to transition to the pitch, and it starts with her talking faster and faster, and then her face turns red, and then sweat starts beating up on her face, and then she went and she asked for money. Very, very proud of her. And then the second she did, she backpedaled and apologized and then told everyone like 15 reasons why they don't have to buy, but if they want to, they can. And then she ended, and then she ran home. I was just like, oh, like we all get scared to make the offer. And you have to understand, first off, if you've done your job right, you've told these stories in a way that you followed this process, the script, all kinds of stuff. By the time this thing is done, they are begging you to help them. They are in so much pain. They've realized, like this process, it takes the problem and it agitates it, right? And it amplifies it. Like if you do it right, like this whole thing is you're taking what their problems are and you're finding it, you're agitating, you're amplifying it. So by the time this is done, there's like, holy crap, I do need that. How many of you guys at the end of the session yesterday were like, oh, like I need that. I need to be part of that. Okay, because I'm taking the problem that you have, I'm agitating it, and I'm amplifying it through the stories. So the end of it, like they're in pain. And if you leave that point, like, well, see you guys, and you walk away, oh my gosh, like you just did the worst thing possible for them. Like you have to make them an offer. How do you do that? And that's what the stack is. You guys saw me do a stack right here yesterday. We kind of go through here's the offer. You're gonna get this and this and this and this, and you kind of go through the offer, right? And that's how you get people out of pain, and that's how you serve them at the highest level. And so that's the part where don't be scared. And I'll show you guys how I do my transition. But it's really simple. Do you notice like every time I shift from like this portion of my presentation to the selling portion, I always ask for permission. It's a key. Like when you understand this, it's huge. Like, because a lot of us are like, I don't want people to think that the whole thing is a sales pitch, and it's not. It's about breaking belief patterns, first off, so they understand what the result that they're going to get, that is possible. And then you transition. So I always say, hey, you guys okay if I put together a really special offer to help you to get this? Are you okay if I spend 5 minutes kind of going through it real quick? And everybody says yes so far. No one's ever told me no. They're like, oh yeah, sure, definitely, go for it, man. If I'm in a seminar room and I got like 3,000 people in the room, I do the whole thing, and then I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool, right? Well, are you okay if I spend maybe 5 minutes going through a special offer I created for you guys to help make this process even easier? And everyone says yes. If they don't say yes, then I stop and I'm like, if you don't want it, like, I already know how to do this stuff. I can just go. And they're like, no, please do. Like, it's just so simple. And then you transition, and then they're waiting for the offer, and it's not awkward. That lady in the home party meeting, when she got done with everyone rubbing oils everywhere, all she had to do is like, you guys like this stuff? If you want, are you okay if I spend 5 minutes going through a special offer with you that's going to help you so you can use this stuff at home? And everyone in the room been like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then she wouldn't have felt awkward. And it's like, cool. They all just told me that they have my permission to make them an offer. Okay, that's how I always transition every one of my presentations. You'll notice it over and over and over again. So that's kind of the key here. All right, so that's how I did it. Was that pretty good for a carpet cleaner? Yeah. All right. Whew. It's weird not having a huge audience here, people yelling and screaming. All right. Okay, well that's, I'll just do that one because that took about 30 minutes, but hopefully that helps you guys to kind of see like this works for anything. If you're a financial planner, come back to here. Why did you become a financial planner? Because I wanted to make money. No, you didn't. There was a reason. What was that reason? Okay, come back. Remember. Go back in time. Go back in and figure out like what was the reason you picked that. Okay, there's something that happened that got you excited to go on this thing. And if there was nothing, if you just picked it completely because you wanted to get rich and stuff like that, first off, like you got to find a better reason why. Okay, you're going to continue to struggle to get people to change and get a result if the only reason why you're doing it is because of money. Okay, I spent the first 3 or 4 years of this business trying to make money, and guess what happened? I was like stuck. There's something weird about that. Zig Ziglar said, if you spend all your, I'm going to screw up his quote, but if you help everybody else in the world get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. When I transitioned away from trying to make money to like, how can I actually get people that result? Because I wanted that, I got it. How do I get them that result? And you shift to that, then everything will shift. And so like if you're struggling with this because you're like, there's nothing that happened that got me excited. I woke up one day and now I'm a carpet cleaner. Like time to get excited about this thing. Okay, there's really like carpet cleaning. How boring is that? Like, did I light it up for you guys? Like, I'm excited about carpet cleaning now. Like, it's there. You just got to look for it. A lot of times people come to me and they're like, I'm trying to create an offer and I can't figure out the right. Like, it's just boring. And half is just figuring out the right hook. Like, what's the hook? Like, why is carpet cleaning exciting? Like, there's a reason why it is. And if you can't find any reason, then find a new business. But I promise you, it's there. And so if you ask any of my inner circle members when they first come in and we're first trying to initially find their hooks and stuff, it's like me asking a lot of questions like, well, why did you do that? Why? What's your story? What's your reasoning? Why were you excited? I had someone recently who came in after Funnel Hacking Live, and they're a weight loss couple, super cool people, and but they were never overweight. They're skinny, like they're healthy people, and I was like, well, why'd you get weight loss? And they're like, oh, and like I was trying to figure out like, did you guys lose weight? And they're like, no. I was like, what? And it took me forever, and I kept asking. I think they were probably annoyed because I'm like, well, why did you do that? Why? I kept asking why, and they kept like telling me all these like things that weren't exciting. And finally they said something like, well, this one day I read this book by this doctor, and on page 36 he said this. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got the hook. Like, thank you, that is it. Like, as soon as you figure that out, then you can build something around that, but you got to find out what that hook is. John Carlton, one of the greatest living copywriters, I was listening to him back, 10 or 11 years ago, and he was talking about how he had this, there's a golfing product that he was hired to write the sales letter for, and he was trying and it wasn't working, and like it wasn't converting, couldn't make it to work very good. He kept asking, like, why did you create this product? Like, what's the reason? What's the purpose? And the guy like couldn't remember or something. And he kept like, well, because it helps people, shave off strokes off their golf swing or whatever those things are. Right? He kept like going back and forth. And finally, the guy was like, well, the first time I ever tried this technique, I was actually at a golf course and there was this golfer and he had one leg. And because he had one leg, like the way he had a hobble was kind of weird and he had like hit it some weird way. But because of that, like the angle or whatever happened and it changed everything. And so I started trying to do that and I realized that by shifting my hips a certain way, it shifted, whatever, I don't golf. So it did something way better and it was awesome. And so Carlton was like, that's the hook. The one-legged golfer is like the key. And so like the ad was like the one-legged golfer, whatever. And from that blew up a huge business. So it's like finding those hooks, like looking at your business from different set of eyes, like what gets this thing exciting? Is it your story? Is it the reason? Is it what does it do? Just keep asking and digging until you find that, and then you can make it light up and make it become real and exciting when you look at it through this lens here. Okay? I hope that helps. Again, any business we can do this. If you sat in this room, which most of you should if you're coming to the FAT event, we'll sit in this room and we'll figure that thing out. Like, what is that thing? What is it for you? And kind of go through and try to figure it out. All right. Okay, what I'm doing now then is I want to kind of break down. So when we did this, we purposely, I didn't want to spend a ton of time creating this whole presentation yesterday because I wanted to do it on the fly because that's how sometimes you guys can do it. So in the Expert Secrets book, yesterday's presentation about the big domino, this is like probably a third of the book going through the big domino. In fact, if you break down the book, the first section is all about like building the mass movement, right? So attractive character, the cause, all those kind of things there. Then the second section is all about this, like the big domino. And then from there, we transition into actually creating the presentation. And so there's probably, 30% of the pages in here are like going slide by slide by slide, creating the presentation. And so in a perfect world, what I recommend doing is actually creating a PowerPoint slide presentation. When you come to the FAT event here in Boise, for 3 days, it's what we do. Like everyone's here with computers with their slides open, and we go slide by slide by slide by slide. So at the end of it, your entire slide deck is done for the perfect webinar. And you can literally plug any product in. And what's cool about it is like, if you're going through and you're like, slide number 22, like I'm a dentist, how does this work for me? We're like, oh, we'll try this. And we go through and everyone gets all the slides done. That's one of the things we do here. But I would recommend everyone doing it initially through PowerPoint slides, because the first times you do it, like you have to understand the flow and the process and get good at telling your stories. Yesterday I talked about giving yourself a raise every day. Like one of the things that we talk about here, I talk about in the inner circle, is like when somebody comes in and they start this thing, like I always tell them like you need to do a webinar a week, every single week until you made $1 million. And they're like, anyway, it's so funny. So what happens, like they'll go through, they build a webinar, they'll launch it, they do the first webinar, and they always message me, Russell, it bombed, it didn't work. I'm like, I know, it never works the first time. But what did you learn? Export all the questions, make some changes, change the PowerPoint slides, get it tweaked out, and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it again, and do it every single week until you've made $1 million. And what happens typically is they'll do it 4 or 5 weeks, and all of a sudden it'll work. They'll be making a bunch of money, and they'll do that for 2 or 3 weeks. And the first thing they'll do, they come back to me like, cool, Russell, I got it done. I'm going to put on an auto webinar, and then I want to make my next funnel. And I'm always like, no. You're not allowed to do your next funnel until you made at least $1 million. I want you in the 2 comma club before you build funnel number 2, okay? Remember we talked about yesterday, like the what and the how, like you have to figure out what it is you're selling and how you're selling it. And the best way to do that is to force yourself to stand up on a stage every single week until you made $1 million doing it over and over and over again. Your pitch will become better and better. Your stories will become better, the flow will become better. And so for everyone, I say like, the first goal is like building out the entire slide deck and having that and then doing it every single week. Picking it could be Wednesday night, Thursday night, whatever, but you do it live every single week until you made at least $1 million. And $1 million, then you can go and you can automate it. I will give you permission at that point, but until it's made $1 million, don't automate it. Okay? I didn't automate any of the funnel hacks one for ClickFunnels until after I made $10 million. Okay? So I was 10xing what I'm requiring you guys to do. So I practice what I preach. I'm not just saying this kind of thing. This is what you have to do, right? So you do it consistently over and over and over again, which will get you into the 2 comma club. Like that's it. If you spend a year doing that, you'll figure out the what and the how. You'll master the presentation. You'll figure out exactly what they want, how they want it, and you'll build a big audience from that process. You'll be in 2 comma club, and then you can kind of transition. Okay? One of my favorite case studies, and I talk about them in this book quite a bit because there's a lot of people out there who listen to stuff I say, And there's a few people who are really good at just executing on everything. And I think some of the best are Brandon and Caitlin Poland. So they're in the fitness space. And it's interesting because they didn't join the Inner Circle right away. They tried, they were in a network marketing company and then they got out of it. And they messaged me trying to join Inner Circle and they couldn't afford it. And they're like, they sent a little video. I asked them to try to find that video. They texted me a video. I can't find it anywhere. But it's like, they were basically saying like, look, this is the deal. We want to join, but we can't. But we're going to become your biggest success stories. And they're all excited, right? And so that was 2 years ago. A year later, they were at Fun Hacking Live. And they came up and they said, hey, Russell, guess what? Right now we're doing 80 grand a month. I'm like, you're doing 80 grand a month? And they're like, you remember us? And I was like, anyway, it took me a minute. And I was like, wait, you're the ones that texted me a year ago, right? And they're like, yeah, that's us. And I'm like, well, how did you do it? And they said, we listened to your podcast and you told us, do a webinar every single week until they made $1 million. So we've done a webinar every single week. I'm like, every week? She's like, every week we've done one. I think it was like 38 or 48 weeks of the time. Every single week they'd done it. I was like, holy cow, like nobody does that. I tell people that 2 years in a row in the New Year's. This is 2 years in a row. I tell everyone, this is the model for the next 12 months. Create a presentation and do it every single week for the next 12 months. And if you do that, you'll figure out the what and the how, what people want and how to sell it. You will master your presentation skills. You'll understand your stories. You'll understand your market. You keep tweaking and tweaking and get better and better and better. And then this asset will take you to wherever you want to go. But the other thing, not just the presentation asset, but your skill set will become really, really good. Okay? And so what's interesting is after and I've done my presentation so many times, right? Like I could start the Funnel Hacks presentation right now with my eyes closed and give you word for word without any single slides. That's how many times I've done it. Okay? And no, I did not automate it till way later, right? All right, so the reason I'm telling you that is the first thing for you is to like master it through slides because it's the key to understanding it and doing it consistently until it's perfect. After you have done that, then there's a chapter in here. So secret number 17, if you haven't read it, this is the perfect webinar model. This is where I talk about that, going through, and here's the model. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're promoting. Thursday, you do live webinar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, replays. Urgency, scarcity, close it down. Next week, you start the show over again. And that's the model right here. So page 217, if you have the book, there you go. That is the model. Then from there, after we got that figured out, then there's a chapter in here called, let's see, Secret 19, page 238 is called the Perfect Webinar Hack. So what the Perfect Webinar Hack is what I did yesterday, okay? Where I didn't go and build all the slides, all the presentations. The story behind this, the very first time I did it, one of my friends was running an affiliate contest for his webinar platform. And I told him I was going to promote it, but then things happened, I ran out of time. And I remember the grand prize was a $50,000 BMW. And there was like 3 or 4 days left in the contest. All these affiliates have been promoting for like 2 or 3 weeks. Everyone's killing it. And he's like, hey, you're going to be able to promote or not? And I was like, I don't have time. I was going to try to write a webinar or something to try to sell it. And like, I didn't have time. And then he's like, dude, like, don't you want a new car? I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, I don't really care about cars. And then I was like, well, how much is the car worth? He's like, well, it's the car or $50,000. And I was like, well, I don't really want the car or $50,000. But I really want a cryo sauna. I've been begging my wife for one. She told me no. It's a ridiculous thing to actually purchase. But I was like, but if I want it, she would have to let me have it. And so if you don't know what a cryo sauna is, if you go to Funnel Hacker TV, you can watch funnelhacker.tv, go watch behind the scenes episode number 3, you see me in it. But it's this big, huge freeze tank. You open it up and you get inside, you push a button, it drops the temperature down to negative 220 degrees. And it's really, really cool and nerdy and awesome. So I wanted one, right? So I was like, well, Mike, how about this? If I win, you have to give me the cryo sauna, because my wife will have to let me have it if I win it, right? He's like, you are so weird. I'm like, sweet, I'm in. So I was like, okay, and I literally, like, as soon as I got off the phone with him, I was like, okay, I don't have time to do a webinar. I don't have, like, to catch up and to beat everyone, I've got like a little tiny window. And so I stood in front of a whiteboard and I said, okay, if I want someone to believe, what's the one thing they have to believe? And I sat down and thought through that. And then I wrote it on a whiteboard. And on page 242, you can see actually a screenshot from this presentation. So I wrote right here, and this is a bad, I spent literally 10 to 15 minutes writing this whole thing and then we went live. So I was like, how to make at least 8 figures the next year with this webinar model. Wrote that on the whiteboard and I was like, okay, cool. So what is their false beliefs about the vehicle? I'm like, their false beliefs is that whatever. So then I wrote, okay, secret number 1 is this. And I wrote secret number 1. What's their false internal beliefs? Secret number 2. And so I wrote those 3 things down and that's okay, I need to make it an offer. So I wrote down the offer slide and I wrote down, here's what they're gonna get if they buy through my affiliate link. I said, okay, here we go, guys. And I'm like, okay, go grab, we had a phone for Periscope and a phone for Facebook Live. We clicked go on it. I was like, hey everyone, welcome to today's Facebook Live and Periscope thingy. All right, today we're gonna talk about, here's the headline. All right, and I talked about that. I told my origin story. I said, okay, next thing's right here. Told my second story. Here, story number 3. Boom. Story number 4. Asked permission. Did my stack. Boom. In the next 3 days before the contest ended, we sold $250,000 worth of mics.